Hello and welcome to Weaving the Magic. Today's reading is on the Sagittarius full moon happening today, just in about 35 minutes or so, May 23rd, 2024. Full moon, of course, being when the sun and the moon are in opposing signs. The moon is in Sagittarius, the sun is in Gemini. This reading is going to be both a combination tarot and astrology reading. I've got the chart pulled up but not shared on my screen, so I can ask for some cards on some specific aspects of what's actually happening cosmically to guide us through this reading. So first things to touch on, the sun being in Gemini, and there's a lot of other planets that are making their way into Gemini as well. By the time that this full moon hits, Venus will have also entered Gemini, as well as Jupiter. Venus and Jupiter making their way into Gemini adds to that half of the zodiac that right now is currently occupied, including Aries, Taurus, and Gemini energies. There's also some stuff going on in Pisces. I'm going to focus mostly on the Gemini right now and ask what's the general energy that's coming in from Gemini with the Sun, Venus, and Jupiter there. What is the general energy that Gemini is providing right now to this full moon? Got two cards out. I'm going to turn these upside down. So this is the Tower and the Five of Wands. I want to make sure that you can see these on screen. Yes. So wow, Gemini bringing in the Tower and the Five of Wands, especially with Gemini and Jupiter moving in. Okay, so what I'm getting with Gemini and the Tower card here, Gemini has the downside or the low road of being two-faced, of having dual personality, having a hidden personality. If you think about Gemini as the twins, you've got like the good twin and the bad twin, or the dark and the light. It's about duality. So it's about what is and what is not, what becomes of something that maybe is being faked. I'm really getting that energy here with the imagery on this Tower card specifically, how it looks like all of the light has been portrayed. Just the light, just the golden, just the goodness. And now, because it's sick and tired of repression, it's coming out from the darkness, or the darkness is coming out, is emerging and shattering the other seemingly beautiful, seemingly golden, seemingly pristine of what was. However, this coming out with this Five of Wands is like a death to the previous warring energy, to the fighting, to the, I want to say corruption, to the battle of, oh wow, this is going to get really deep, really, really deep. All right, I'm going to pause and I'm going to read this. Whatever is born of mortal birth must be consumed with the earth to rise from generation free. Then what have I to do with thee? Here lieth William Blake. This is the William Blake art deck, by the way, tarot deck, so that's why it's got his tombstone on it. But whatever is born of mortal birth must be consumed with the earth to rise from generation free. Then what have I to do with thee? Wow, this is so lovely, and it's honestly unraveling in my brain as I'm reading it. But essentially, I'm linking this towards my beliefs on the universe and why we are here and what we're doing in this human experience, in this pendulum swing from, we came from oneness, and we have been experiencing as humans the separation, the dispersal of one energy into many, 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 many facets of energies, all to simulate experiences, multiple experiences. And this setup here, what Gemini is bringing in, because Gemini brings curiosity, it brings thinking, it brings interest, it brings playfulness, it brings the curiosity of a child who wants to explore its environment. It's popping out here from the Tower, destroying everything that we thought was, because there's more to be uncovered. There's more beyond the competition that is generally apparent in the Five of Wands. There's more beyond the fighting. There's more beyond the striving to get our needs met for survival purposes. There's more beyond what was built of the ego, which is what the tower represents. It represents the destruction of the outside shell, or the outer comforts, or the safety of this ego structure, this personality that we create for ourselves in the first half of life. So Gemini is really bringing in, especially with Venus, the planet of love and nurturance, having sustenance, harmony, fulfillment, and also then Jupiter coming in, which makes everything bigger, which makes everything more like strokes of luck and fates of fortune. It's a benefic. Both of these are benefics, two great benefics. So even though this is the Tower card and the Five of Wands, which are generally harsher cards in the tarot, it feels like it's a very beneficial energy with all of this happening relating to Gemini, because the curiosity within us each is illuminating what no longer serves in a really beautiful way. There's no longer a need to hide behind the falsitudes of the ego. There's no longer a need to hide behind warring and competition. It's time to say our piece, make our peace. It says, dust thou art. Wow. And with a full moon, we're really talking about experiencing a culmination of energies and then a release and a letting go of that energy. Dust thou art. So before I go any further, if anyone's already resonating with the energy of something is breaking down in a big, big way, and maybe it's ending in like an almost bloody battle, knockdown, drag out fight. Maybe there's been like a giant eruption in your energetic field as far as like immense amounts of anger or immense amounts of burnout, a lot of burnout energy. Let it go, fall to the floor, fall to the ground, bury yourself in the earth, allow yourself to be dust thou art. Go back to the earth, lay your body down on the earth, surrender. Surrender to what's happening now. Be in the flow of what is. Don't resist this breakthrough happening for you, because something good will come of it. After the tower is always the star, and here's a star right here. To rise from generation free. We're doing the work to move free of what was into something new. Okay, this video may be a little bit shorter than I originally anticipated. My son is awake now, but I think that's good here for the Gemini energy. I'm also gonna shuffle now what's coming out with the moon in Sagittarius. What's happening there? What is here? I want to keep these still on screen. So what's the deal with the moon in Sagittarius? In general, the energy of Sagittarius is the explorer, being the opposite of Gemini, where Gemini is the childlike divine curiosity that compels us to just explore at random, whatever comes across our vision, whatever comes into our focus, like a floating butterfly. Whatever comes in will be a distraction that we then become curious about. But Sagittarius has the wisdom end of that curiosity spectrum, where it knows what it's seeking and it follows a path of its own making. It knows the way of the spiral and to go inward and to seek outward for higher learning, wisdom, confirmation for what it knows, and facts to check itself against confirmation bias. Sagittarius is an explorer. It is an adventurer. It wants to gain more wisdom, and it knows that its self-directed path is the best way to do that. It doesn't need to depend on duality. It does the inner work. So let's see what's coming out with this moon in opposition to all that Gemini energy, giving us that lightning strike, that tower breakthrough, and that Five of Wands, Five of Music energy. What's opposing that? How is the moon grounding us down? That was too many cards. Let's bring down that moon energy. Which is interesting to note as well, that this moon in Sagittarius has a confused relationship with Neptune and Pisces at the moment. And that strikes a chord for me too. But the moon all on its own, bringing in the Four of Music. So this is the Four of Wands. Oh, and this is beautiful. And I wrote my happy songs every child made joy to hear. Ah, and I wrote my happy songs every child made joy to hear. I love the sharing. I love the wisdom and the generations here that are being displayed. It's like wisdom does not always mean that you become this stoic, untouchable Capricornian person on the mountaintop. True wisdom reminds you that life is meant to be joyful, that life could be a happy song, that playing music for children is like one of the simplest, most beautiful legacies that you could create for yourself. To have such a joyful song in your heart, in your perspective, in your life, in your knowing, that curious children want to hear. It's to compel other people to the wisdom that you have and hold just by playing your joyful song. There really couldn't be a better card for this. I love that he's got this cloak of stars here because it's like seeking outwardly as a Sagittarius does, but on the inner journey, like taking the journey of self and filling itself with culture, with wisdom, with travel, with all things around and outside. It's getting familiar with the environment around so that by comparison, you can see what you are and what you are not, which is exactly what astrology does for us. So this cloak of stars is beautiful because right now the astrology of the day of this full moon is really singing the song to me, of like embrace yourself, wrap yourself, meet yourself as a Gemini would through divine curiosity. Allow what's old to pass. Allow the energy of the outer image and the warring and the fighting and the competition to pass. Allow the star to come in and bring you your peaceful, happy ending, with the moon showing up and illuminating this softer side of Sagittarius, where wisdom equals joy and enjoyment, passion, but not in the way where it's frantically moving towards something. Passion in the moment of standing in a place in a moment in time, or sitting in a place in a moment in time, and really appreciating that you are in that moment right now, listening to that happy song, reflecting on having written it, watching the joy of a child's face. It's watching yourself smile in the mirror even. I feel like this is a really good note, that I think I'm going to wrap it up on this because my son's in my lap here and he's going to start wanting to move around and get all energetic. And I don't even want to tamper with that energy. I really like it just as is. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope that this full moon allows you to release any seriousness or severity that you had attached to the energy of playfulness, and muses you into making some music today, listening to some music today, exploring something curiously, in an effort and in an attempt to grow yourself into more joy, not into more intelligence, not into more structure, not into more success, not into anything else but more joy. I hope that you allow this full moon to illuminate what is in you that both blocks you from your joy and adds to your joy, so that you may allow yourself to release what blocks you and embrace what builds you, what adds more joy. So that's all I've got. Thank you so much for watching this video. I wish you a beautiful full moon, and until next time.